Get ready, because what you're about to hear shouldn't make sense. This man didn't just dominate bodybuilding. He did it while his body was already breaking down. And by the time the world realized what was happening, it was already too late to stop it. This isn't a story about winning trophies. It's a story about how far the human body can be pushed before the damage becomes permanent. Before symmetry, before clean lines, before pretty physiques, there was a body that felt wrong the moment it appeared. Not impressive, not elegant. It didn't invite admiration. It demanded attention. When Dorian Yates stepped on stage, bodybuilding didn't see evolution. It saw something it wasn't prepared to judge. This wasn't refinement. This wasn't polish. This was pressure. This wasn't improvement. This was mutation. When he turned around and hit his back pose, the room froze. Thickness people had never seen. Density that didn't flow. It crushed. Muscle stacked on muscle. No gaps. No softness. No escape. Other competitors didn't look outposed. They looked irrelevant. And in one night, bodybuilding changed direction. It wasn't just that he was bigger. It was where the size showed up. Before this, backs mattered. After this, backs decided everything. When he turned around, judging stopped being subjective. Thickness replaced flow. Density replaced detail. A back wasn't supposed to look like that. Muscle stacked so deep it erased separation. Lats that didn't flare, they hung. Competitors knew the outcome before the final pose. You could see it in their posture, in the way confidence drained from their faces. Front poses didn't matter anymore. Conditioning didn't save you anymore. If your back couldn't compete, the show was already over. Judges didn't reward it because they loved it. They rewarded it because they couldn't ignore it. And once that standard was set, there was no going back. But here's the part nobody noticed yet. This body had an expiration date. Not years away, not after retirement. It was already ticking. From the outside, it looked like total dominance. From the inside, the body was under constant pressure. Micro tears stacking faster than they could heal. Inflammation never fully dropping. Recovery shrinking every season. This wasn't happening at the end of his career. It was happening while he was winning. Most champions slow down when their body sends warning signs. He didn't. He trained heavier, harder, darker. Not because it was smart, because it was still working. And as long as it worked, he pushed harder. Every year, the physique got thicker. Every year, the damage went deeper. This is where the story gets uncomfortable. Because while fans saw dominance, he was already adapting around damage. This wasn't about improvement anymore. It was about survival. Poses subtly changed. Angles were protected. Certain movements were avoided. Weaknesses weren't fixed. They were hidden. Not to look better, to survive judging. And it worked. The trophies kept coming. The titles kept stacking. But the body was paying the price quietly. Then came the injuries people don't like listing together. Torn biceps, torn triceps, chronic damage that doesn't fully heal. Not soreness, not strain, structural failure. For most athletes, that's the end. For him, it was just another adjustment. He showed up compromised. He trained around pain. He posed around torn tissue. And he still won. At that point, this wasn't bodybuilding. It was survival under lights. Winning wasn't proof of health. It was proof the system didn't know how to stop him. Every win came with a cost the audience never saw. Pain stopped being temporary. Recovery became management. Damage became permanent.
This stomach bleeding was caused by some anti-inflammatory medicines that had been given to me by my doctors.
There was no full healing phase waiting, no reset button. The physique was still winning. The body was losing. And the damage didn't stop with him. It spread. Gyms around the world tried to copy the formula. Heavier rows, heavier pulls, shorter recovery, more intensity. Everyone wanted the back. Nobody wanted the consequences. Bodies started breaking faster. Careers got shorter. Injuries became normal instead of rare. But the standard had already changed. Judges expected that thickness now. Fans demanded it. And athletes felt trapped. If you trained safely, you lost. If you pushed like him, you paid. There was no middle ground. And this is where you need to ask yourself something. If a body is breaking down, but it keeps winning, is that dominance, or is that destruction being rewarded? If this kind of breakdown analysis is what you want more of, subscribe to Barbell Fuel now, because every story here goes past the surface. Eventually, the bill arrived. Not because he was beaten, not because someone surpassed him, because the body had nothing left to give. When he stepped away, it wasn't a quiet exit. It wasn't a graceful fade. It was the collapse of an era built on pushing the body past what it was designed to survive. And the era never fully recovered. The sport followed the blueprint he created. Bigger backs, denser physiques, heavier training, and more injuries. Bodybuilding didn't just copy the look. It copied the cost. Judges became trapped. Fans became complicit. Athletes paid the price. And the problem still hasn't been solved. So that leaves the question the sport still avoids. Did he dominate bodybuilding? Or did bodybuilding reward destruction because it didn't know where to draw the line? That's the legacy. Not just titles, not just victories, but the moment bodybuilding crossed a line and never fully came back. If you want more stories like this, subscribe to Barbell Fuel, because the next physique we break down went even further. And tell me in the comments, was this the greatest champion of all time, or the most expensive one?